This video is made possible by the EA Creator Network. Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ashley, also known as aashwarr Plays, and I have a very exciting video for you guys today. Thanks to the EA Creator Network, I was provided early access to The Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack, which will be releasing on October 31st. They provided me a version of The Sims 4 that only has base game and the Life and Death expansion pack. This is not the final software for the game, and a few things may appear differently than the released pack. With that being said, you will see my username aashwarr bouncing across the screen. If you're not aware, The Sims 4 did release a patch update on Tuesday, October 22nd. It introduces a bunch of new features and casts, such as a cult picker, so you're able to select occults for existing Sims. You can also turn Sims into ghosts and select which cause of death they have. It is a pretty neat feature, and I will be covering this in like the next few episodes or so. But apparently this update has broken so many mods, and because of this, I don't plan on updating my Sims game for a pretty long time. So in the time being, I'm going to post a few videos surrounding the Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack while I still have early access for it. And so the next few videos you'll see from me are first impressions. We'll go through a few cast items and then look over the new world, which is called Ravenwood. It is inspired by Transylvania in Romania. And then I'll do some gameplay that is surrounded by this pack. And before I forget, there are a few simmers that did work on this pack and made a lot of the pre-made lots that you guys will see. And so these creators include Create for Sims, Sophie the Sims, Sims Funny, and the Kate Emerald. But speaking of Ravenwood, I want to talk about the lot that we're currently building on. This is a 30 by 20 lot. It's located in the Crows Crossing neighborhood. And from what I've seen so far, I think this is my favorite neighborhood in the new pack. There's like a town hall and festivals also take place in this neighborhood. But this particular lot is going to be the home for my household that I plan on showcase the gameplay for this expansion pack. But I'll get more into that a little bit later on. What I really want to touch on is the purpose of this video and the rest of the videos that I'm going to be sharing with you guys in the next few days. But the purpose of today's video is to give you guys my expectations for the Life and Death expansion pack. And then the following videos that you see after this will actually do some gameplay and see whether or not my expectations are met. I know in the Sims community, a lot of people say, keep your expectations low, don't expect too much from the Sims team. And while to an extent, I do agree to the sentiment, if you're going to cough up $40 or whatever your equivalent currency is, I would at least have some sort of expectation for an expansion pack, because I feel like as us gamers, if we're expecting bare minimum, we're going to receive bare minimum from game devs. And this is not just The Sims 4, this is just the gaming industry as a whole. So for $40, I want some standards to be met. So one thing I'm very excited about this expansion pack is that I think that it'll be something that both occult players as well as players that play realistically will both enjoy. I feel like there's like a very nice balance between the two gameplay styles. And so we have an overhaul on the ghosts, and then we have more fleshed out gameplay when it comes to your Sims dying and then their afterlife. And this includes like a new funeral event and then the gameplay that kind of leads up to it, like writing their wills. I do like that there's two new careers with this pack. The first one being the Undertaker career, and Sims in this career will focus on funeral services, embalming deceased Sims, and then like also upkeeping cemeteries and graveyards and whatnot. And then the second career is an active career, and this is being a Grim Reaper. And so you're basically working for the Grim Reaper himself, and you're going to be reaping the souls of Sims. I'm really excited about diving into that gameplay because it is definitely something I'm not used to doing. With that being said, when this pack was first announced, I'll be honest and say that I wasn't the most excited about it because it's just something that I feel like it was not up my alley. I don't find myself playing with occult Sims, much less ghosts. And so I felt like it just wasn't something that would really appeal to me. But once I saw the reveal trailer, as well as the gameplay trailer, I did get a bit more excited about it because I saw that it adds so much more gameplay for Sims that move on to the afterlife, which is great timing, honestly, because I got a few Sims, I'm ready for them to kick the bucket. And I feel like the reason why I've kind of been avoidant on my Sims passing away is because the gameplay for it has been severely lacking. Your Sims will literally pass out dead on the floor. Grim Reaper will pop up with his little iPad, tap on it for a few minutes, and then whip out his scythe and then reap the Sim. And then that's it. Poof, they into a little urn. And there's really nothing else to it. There are several new deaths that are introduced in this pack, and I think one is dying of an old age, and your elderly Sims will literally die in their sleep. It just feels very, bittersweet. But going back to this lot, let's talk about the household that I plan on using this lot for. So I'm going to be playing with 3 Sims for this pack, and this is the Jeffersons. We have a father, his name is Demetrius Jefferson, and I plan on having him in the Undertaker career and like owning his own funeral service. And then we have his 2 daughters, Ophelia and Cordelia, and they are complete opposites of each other. I was inspired by Twitches to do this, as well as like a few other movies and TV shows like The Addams Family. I think one of the Sims, Cordelia, she's loosely based off of Wednesday, and she's a macabre Sim, which is a new trait that comes with this pack. And this trait reads, embrace your inner darkness and your occasional intrusions of light. Macabre Sims are all about being their best unique Sim self while still reveling in all that life and the afterlife has to offer. And so for her, I want her to be very interested in all things that pertain to the afterlife. And I'm guessing like her father's career has had this influence on her. She plays the violin, similar to Wednesday Addams playing the cello. I also want her to have a high skill level in mischief and like own like a voodoo doll. And that's base game content, but I've never played with a mischievous Sim. And I feel like she's gonna be the perfect Sim to do that. As for her older sister, Ophelia, she isn't that much opposite of her. I think like aesthetics wise she is, but she still has like an interest in the afterlife, but has like a different approach to it. I feel like she's very spiritual. She's really interested in tarot readings and all things celestial, and because of her interest in ghosts, she does have the ghost historian aspiration, but we'll get more into their storyline once we get into some gameplay. So I did mention before that Ravenwood is inspired by Transylvania, and a lot of the architecture in this world is very influenced by Romanian architecture. And so I did as much research as I possibly could with the short amount of time that I had, and I really hope I did this build justice. I used Bucharest, the capital of Romania, for reference, and I'll put a reference photo for the particular building that I used on the screen here. So I did notice that I was pretty symmetrical with this build, and one pattern that I noticed with a lot of Romanian revival architecture is that it's quite the opposite. It's very intricate, but please give me grace, y'all. Like, this is a CC free build. I had no CC, and this is just base game in life and death. So please, everybody clap. This is such an achievement for me. And one thing I noticed when I was building this lot is that the base game for The Sims 4 is so bare. Granted, it is free to play, but once upon a time, this game used to cost $60. Me personally, I didn't pay that amount, but yeah, not gonna lie, I would be mad if I paid $60 for it because the build items are very bare, and it just makes sense why a lot of base game builds are so empty on the inside, because there ain't no clutter to use to clutter the builds. I was scrambling to find clutter for this build. It was a struggle, I cannot lie, but the build by items for the expansion pack did make up for this. There isn't actually that much clutter items in this pack, but I really do appreciate the exterior items that come with this pack, like the windows, the roof decoration, and like the fencing. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm gagged at the fencing. The architecture in this pack reminds me so much of what you would see in the Sims 4 Vampires game pack, but without the vampires, which I appreciate because I don't have that pack in my game. I know about Vladdy Daddy. I know about how he liked to walk in folks' homes unannounced and turn your Sims into vampires. I don't want none of that, but I was always envious of other Simmers that had like the gothic architectural style in their game, and like the gate and fencing that comes with Vampire Stuff Pack. Oh, it's so beautiful. But now that we have like something very similar to that in this pack, I no longer have to feel like I need to purchase the vampire pack. And I know some people may not like having packs that have very similar aesthetics to them or very similar items in them, but for someone that doesn't really play with occults, even though this pack does have quite a bit of occult gameplay in it, I think this is something that caters to both occult players and realistic Sim players. So again, it's just really nice to have those type of items in this pack as well. And so there are a few notable build by items that come with this pack. One being the new kitchen set. And do not get me wrong, I think the kitchen set is absolutely stunning. I think it might be one of my favorite in-game kitchens, but I will say that I am pretty spoiled by custom content creators in the Sims community. If I'm being honest, I don't think I would have such a strong attachment to the Sims 4 if it weren't for them. But with the new kitchen set that comes with this pack, my only complaint is the swatches. And I feel like this is always going to be my problem with the Sims 4 is limited swatches. And I know that in order for us to get all these assets and get like a lot of varying items, especially build by items, we have to limit the amount of swatches we can get. I just wish the swatches were more flattering. I wish there was more customization with it. Like, I wish I was able to pick the color marbling I want and then the color of the cabinets, or maybe even like the color of the hardware. And there's a lot of CC creators in the community that adds this type of customization to their build items. So it's not something that's just impossible. I just think, unfortunately, the Sims team is just unable to do this. I do like the green swatch that comes in this pack. You guys will notice that a lot in this build. I did end up using like the brown swatch for the kitchens, the brown cabinet swatch with like the ivory marble countertops, and then used like that green swatch for the kitchen appliances. But the green kitchen swatch is just, it's so much. Like the marble's green, the cabinets are green. I just feel like Shrek done walked into this kitchen and threw up all over it. Like that's how green it is. One thing I noticed in this pack is that there's like two different architectural styles. Like we have the traditional Romanian style, but then we also have like this very sleek, modern, like even contemporary styled items. And I thought this was really funny because when I was looking up a bunch of real estates in Romania, I noticed that a lot of the homes in Romania preserve the exterior of their homes like this very traditional, but when you look in the inside, it's just like a complete 180. And I thought that it was really interesting that the Sims team kind of took that approach as well. Like a lot of the interior items that you'll see in this pack are very modern. We do have a new sink, we have a new fridge, a new stove, and even a new dishwasher. I'm not the biggest fan of the sink because one thing I noticed about the Sims team is that they always go for like that yellow ass brass color for their hardware. Why it gotta be that damn yellow color? But anyways, enough yapping about the kitchen set. We have like this new chevron flooring. I'm obsessed with it. It is so beautiful. As for the wallpaper, not a fan. I tried so hard to use the wallpaper that came in this pack, but I was not a fan of it at all. I just don't really find myself using in-game wallpaper to begin with. Like I said before, I'm very much spoiled by the Sims community and CC creators and using their wallpaper instead. So I never find myself buying a pack and being very excited about wallpaper because I don't even use it to begin with. One thing I want to point out is the light fixtures in this pack. There's two chandeliers that I am obsessed with in this pack. I think you guys can kind of see the first one on the second floor. It's like this very beautiful candlelit chandelier. And then we have like a more modern one. It reminds me of something you would see in like a modern contemporary home. One of the biggest build items that are featured in this pack are caskets and grave sites. You are able to fully customize your Sims grave sites. You can also put a bunch of memorabilia on the grave sites, which I think is really nice, especially if you have a Sim that goes to the cemetery to visit their late parents' grave sites. They can place something very sentimental on their grave site, like a photo of them. I believe they can also place flowers on them. Anything that's live draggable can go onto the grave site, which I think is just really nice. And it's just one of the biggest things that I'm excited about for this pack. We did get some more bathroom items as well. We got a new tub and shower, and I love them. Again, wish there was more swatches. I feel like that's going to be like the constant theme of the videos, more swatches. But right now we're currently decorating Ophelia and Cordelia's bathroom, and you'll see like the tub and the shower. And of course I'm using the green swatch just to kind of like make it all cohesive with the rest of the build. I did use like these base game towels in here, this base game toilet, and then base game flooring. I do like the mirrors. I do find that the mirrors are a bit chunky, but I still like them. They did include like a nice bronze color in there. I decorated Demetrius's bathroom the exact same, so I'm not going to show it in the speed build. Y'all know I don't really put too much thought into my bathrooms, but we're going to move on to Ophelia's bedroom first. I decided that Ophelia's favorite color is blue, and I did do this as homage for Shakespeare's Hamlet. The character Ophelia and that play dies from drowning. So we're going for blue like water. Very morbid, but I think it's very on theme, very on brand for this expansion pack. And again, she's really into ghosts and all things spiritual. She's a writer, so I did make sure that she had like a desk and a computer in her room, so she's able to write about her ghostly findings. And then we have Cordelia's bedroom on the opposite side of her sister. So we have like a Jack and Jill situation on the second floor, and her room is very dark, very moody. I didn't want to go like basic and make it like all black. So there are hints of like burgundy red. She plays the violin, she likes mischief, and just causing a lot of mayhem in Ravenwood. But we're moving on to Demetrius's bedroom, and clearly his favorite color is emerald green. Go figure. I kept it pretty minimum for his bedroom because one, it's pretty small. So there's not really much I can add to it, and two, there's just not that much clutter that comes with this expansion pack. But we're moving on to his office, and it's in this like beautiful sunroom. I think that might be like the proper name for this particular room with like the large windows. But it has his desk in here. I feel like whenever he works from home as a funeral director, like this is where he takes care of like a bunch of emails and whatnot. I did place a raven in his office because I'm really excited to see what that game plan tells. I do like the thought that he likes to paint in his spare time, so I put an easel in there as well as a bunch of canvases. But I am adding the final touches to this build now. I'm working on the landscaping, and I don't know if this is a bug that has returned to the game, but the landscaping will not stick. Like I will work on the landscaping and then come back to the build and it'll be gone. I'm really hoping that it's just like a bug that's in this particular Sims 4 version of the game. Again, disclaimer, this is not the final software for the Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack, and so hopefully this isn't an issue once it's released. But this has been an on-off bug in the Sims 4 for quite a while. Okay, so it happened again, y'all. I loaded into the game and the landscaping's gone. I'm finna jump. I'm finna jump because it is such a tedious thing to fix. Give me 2 seconds to fix the landscaping, and then I'm gonna give a brief tour of this home before we end today's video. Here is the Ravenwood Manor. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. Once you enter the gate here, you have a double stairway that leads you into the entryway. But before you go inside the home, we do have in this corner here an outdoor eating area. So we have a grill and then some seating for the Jeffersons. On this side, we have a little... what the hell is this called? On the side, we have a gazebo, and the Jeffersons are able to play chess here. We do have 3 grave sites here, and I imagine that these grave sites belong to Demetrius's late wife. I don't have a name for her yet. And then maybe his parents. I honestly haven't put too much thought into their background story. I just wanted to place these grave sites here. One of these actually might be Demetrius's. Somebody gonna die in this gameplay. I need to see how these work. But going into the entryway, we have the little foyer area. And then over here to the left, we have the kitchen. Going on this side, we have the living room. Got a nice little fireplace here and a TV. And then here's Demetrius's office. Again, here's like that really nice modern chandelier I was talking about earlier, and then the little crow in the corner. I think I said raven earlier. Y'all, I don't know the difference between a raven and a crow. But apparently this is a crow, not a raven. But going through this door here is Demetrius's bedroom. He got a few awards from being a funeral director. Then here is his bathroom. Going onto the second floor, we have Ophelia and Cordelia's bedroom. Here is Ophelia's bedroom. We do have like this new functional journal, and I'm really excited to see how this works. I'm wondering if it works very similar, if not the same, as the journal that comes with the Parenthood game pack. And then on this side, we have Cordelia's bedroom. We have her violin in the corner, and then she has a journal as well. Here's their bathroom, and that is pretty much it. Oh, and here's like that chandelier I was talking about earlier. It's so nice, right? But yeah, that is pretty much the Ravenwood Manor, and I'm very excited to play in this lot with you guys in the next upcoming videos. So please be sure to be on the lookout for those videos. They should be releasing this weekend. If you are interested in purchasing the Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack on the EA app or EA.com, I do have an EA creator code that you're able to use. Unfortunately, this is not a discount code, but I do receive a small commission from your purchase. Once again, I do want to thank the EA Creator Network for providing me early access for this build and allowing me to showcase this video for you guys. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave a like and comment. I would highly appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next upcoming gameplay videos for the Sims 4 Life and Death expansion pack, and I'll see you guys in my next video.